Now on the news at 11, fans around the globe are reeling from the sudden death of chef, TV host, and storyteller Anthony Bourdain. Good evening, I'm Micah Ullman.
And I'm Christina Pascucci in for Cher Calvin. As the world comes to grips with the latest celebrity suicide, public health officials say his death is part of an alarming trend.
KTLA Steve Koosh live with reaction to the loss of a culinary genius and a look at the spiking suicide rate. Steve.
He was just an incredible guy, Micah and Christina. When folks would ask Anthony Bourdain where he'd like to eat, he'd often say, you know, I never had a bad meal in K-Town, as he called it. Koreatown, though, was just one of many stops that Bourdain would make on the incredible journey that was his life. His sudden death comes, sadly, as we're now seeing a spike in suicides across the entire country.
Would this be classically post-drinking food or pre-drinking food? Laid out a base of absorbent material?
Yeah. He was known as one of the bad boys of the culinary world. But inside the tattooed, gruff exterior of TV star Anthony Bourdain was a warm-hearted intellectual who had a gift of being able to connect with people from all cultures, rich and poor, all over the world.
What makes you happy? What do you eat? What do you like to cook? And everywhere in the world we go and ask these very simple questions, we tend to get some really astonishing answers.
In his travels, Bourdain made many a stop in Los Angeles, including Koreatown, where he taped an episode of his show, Parts Unknown.
It's a soup that's just like, it's kind of Korean, but it's really more LA.
So this is not a direct transplant from Korea?
It became what we're about to have here in LA.
Interesting.
Fame, massive success, a huge fan base, and still, there was something terribly wrong beneath all of it.
Many people, actors or musicians, are good at putting on a show. When they go home, you know, musicians talk about at night when they're back in the room all alone. It's not so glamorous.
Bourdain took his life while working on his show in France, according to reports. The suicide prevention experts at Southern California's D.D. Hirsch Mental Health Services explain how fame and success don't always equal happiness. We saw that just days before Bourdain took his life, when famed women's fashion designer Kate Spade took her own life in a similar way. And it's not just these two celebrity figures. A new study just out from the Centers for Disease Control shows suicides have risen 30% in the past 20 years in the U.S. A heartbreaking 45,000 people took their lives in 2016 alone, many who didn't show signs of mental health problems.
We have this tendency to say, you have everything, how could you do that? Or that would be so selfish. All those reactions make a person clam up and keep their pain underground. So it's so important to be compassionate and say, I'm so sorry you're in so much pain. You don't need to be a psychologist to say that. All you need to do is say, I really care about you. I want to help you.
Anthony Bourdain leaves behind an 11-year-old daughter and a trove of inspirational work. Now, if you or someone you know or love or care about is thinking of harming themselves, please, before it gets to that point, give the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline a call. We have their number right here on the screen. You can see it behind me, 1-800-273-8255. Getting help isn't easy, but if you take that first step, I know it does get a lot easier. Live in Koreatown, I'm Steve Koosh, KTLA 5. Micah, Christina, I'll send it back to you.
Steve, thank you. Now